I call the Honourable Phil Heatley.
Chairman, I move that the question be now put.
I'm going to call the Honourable Member David Clendon.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Order.
Thank you, Mr. Heatley, for taking your seat. Mr. Chair, here we are, a mere few hours after this non-debate began, and we are already debating the title clause of the legislation. Sir, it's unfortunate that the government doesn't have the courage of its convictions, that the minister is content to sit in his chair and smile benignly at the House, and at no point is he defending this appalling piece of legislation. He is not endeavouring to rationalise it, to justify it, because it is beyond rationalisation. And the justification is not one that I believe the minister is willing to voice openly. Sir, this bill is titled the West Coast Wind-Blown Timber Conservation Lands Act of 2014. It could more correctly be called the National Government's Assault on Conservation legislation. That would be an honest label for this bill. It would reveal, in fact, what is going on here. This bill has no other rationalisation other than that it is chipping away at the conservation values, it is chipping away at the legislation that every member of the public who has ever stood up for Conservation New Zealand should be offended by this bill, and they will be in large numbers. So this bill, I'm grateful to our colleague Rino Tirakatene for reminding us of that interesting kōrero from back in the day about the fellow who entered the forest and just mindlessly began cutting a tree in order to carve a waka. He worked hard all day, went back to his village. The next morning came and discovered his work had been undone by the kaitiaki of that place, by those who genuinely cared for it. So the teaching within that story, that simple story, is about respect for nature, because only through respecting nature and caring for nature can we respect and care for ourselves. We are living at a greater distance from the natural environment in one sense than our tupuna Māori were, but the principles remain. To the extent that we inflict damage on the natural earth, to the extent that we degrade what is left of our wilderness areas, we reduce our own well-being, our spiritual, social and indeed our economic well-being, and that is what this legislation will affect. A simple story, and I am grateful to Rino for reminding us of it, the teaching that's embedded in it. So we could just as well call this bill the turning our back on sustainable management bill, because there's a clause in the bill that suggests that the Director General must not allow or authorise any removal of timber if, I quote, the effective activities within the specified site, etc., are contrary to the purpose of the Resource Management Act. And I would remind people what is the purpose of that legislation of the RMA. The promotion of sustainable management of natural and physical resources, while, among other things, safeguarding the life-supporting capacity of air, water, soil and ecosystems. And we have delivered ample evidence tonight. We have argued and revealed, and we've based it on information from DOC and elsewhere, that there is no way that this intervention, this removal of timber, can possibly do other than almost wipe out the life-supporting capacity of ecosystems. We have it before us, even in the very flimsy document that is available to us. And I have no idea what Mr. Minister is trying to indicate to me, but I'll let that moment pass. It is undeniable that this will destroy the ability of this ecosystem to restore itself to the canopy forest that was there before the cyclone hit. We have evidence in the information, sparse though it be, that the resilience of that ecosystem is dependent on it being allowed to restore itself. And nature will do that. It will restore itself. This bill could also be called the assault on natural values, the assault on nature legislation, because that is what it is doing. We pride ourselves, and we base our economic well-being on this notion of being a clean, green country. It is an image we enjoy and which enables us to meet our needs. Sir, this is an image only. This bill is a step towards destroying that image.
The question is that Clause 1 stand part. Those in favour, please say aye. Aye. To the contrary, no. The ayes have it. Party vote called for. Next time we will have a party vote for Ms Delahunty.
New Zealand National.
59 votes in favour.
New Zealand Labour.
31 votes opposed, 2 in favour.
Green Party.
10 votes opposed.
New Zealand First.
7 in favour.
Māori Party.
2 votes in favour.
Mana.
1 opposed.
United Future.
1 vote in favour.
Brendan Horan.
1 in favour.
Any other votes?
Honourable members, the ayes are 72, the noes are 42. Clause 1 will stand part. The question now is that Clause 2 stand part. Those in favour, please say aye. Aye. To the contrary, no. The ayes have it. Has the party vote been called? Ms Moroney has called a party vote and she shall have one.
New Zealand National.
59 votes in favour.
New Zealand Labour.
31 votes opposed, 2 in favour.
Green Party.
10 votes opposed.
New Zealand First.
7 opposed.
Māori Party.
2 votes in favour.
Mana.
1 opposed.
United Future.
1 in favour.
Brendan Horan.
1 in favour.
Any other votes?
Honourable members, the ayes are 65, the noes are 49. Part 2 will stand part. I will report this bill without amendment.
Members, the House is resumed. Mr Chairman.
Mr Speaker, the committee has considered the West Coast Windblown Timber Conservation Lands Bill and reports it without amendment. Mr Speaker, I move that the report be adopted.
Question is that the report be adopted. Those of that opinion will say aye. Aye. To the contrary, no. The ayes have it. The West Coast Windblown Timber Conservation Lands Bill is set down for third reading forthwith. Point of order, Richard Prosser.
Mr Speaker, I seek leave to correct a vote that was made earlier in the second reading of the bill. The vote from New Zealand First was recorded as 7 opposed. I would like to change that to 7 in favour.
Leave is sought to correct New Zealand First vote on the second reading of the bill. Is there any objection? There is no objection. The bill will be corrected. The ayes, therefore, are 72 and the noes are 44. It's all corrected. I call the Honourable Dr Nick Smith.
Mr Speaker, I move that this bill be read.